Well, welcome everyone to our South West London ICS Digital Pioneer Fellowship 101 webinar. This is a real opportunity for you to ask us lots of questions around the application and the content of the programme and why it's important to the local area. Can I just ask if everyone could change their name on their Zoom profiles that reflect your name and your organisation, and particularly if you have a particular preferred pronoun, that'd be great. We'd also ask you, if you're not talking, if you mute yourself, just so it helps with bandwidth quite often. As we go through the session, we're going to be hearing from some key people from the South West London ICS and also some from past pioneers. So it's a great opportunity to ask lots of questions as we go through. So what we'll do is we ask you to put all the questions in the chat, and then once we've kind of heard from everybody, there'll be a great opportunity for people to come on and ask their questions. So just as a quick overview, the purpose of the webinar, as I've already mentioned, is to engage with members of staff across the South West London ICS who would like to apply for the programme. The South West London programme is for up to 40 change makers employed by the NHS and local authority organisations who are designing and leading on health and care transformation projects underpinned by digital innovation. And the programme is really to kind of underpin the support and develop those members of staff. My name is Stinchcombe and I'm the Senior Programme Manager from DigitalHealth.London, and we're the delivery partner within this fantastic Pioneer programme. But at this stage, what I'd love to do is hand over to Matt Laundy to kind of give a bit more of an overview. So Matt, over to you.
Can you bring up the slide, Athena? Thanks.
Sorry, I'm just having some problem with that. Just if I could just have 1 second. If
anybody's got a project to improve the quality of video conferencing, you'll definitely be a shoo-in. Hi, everyone. So I'm Matt Laundy. I'm the CCIO for the South West London ICS. And I'm also a consultant at St George's Hospital, specialising in medical microbiology. So I just wanted to welcome you all to this webinar and just say we're very excited that the ICS has got together with the HIN to deliver this programme, which is the first of its type dedicated within an ICS. Obviously, the HIN has got a history of delivering similar programmes both at a London level and at an organisational level, but never before at an ICS level. So I'm not going to tell you too much about the ICS and the ICB. I think some of you will know more than others. But I just want to sort of talk about our operating principles, because you would ask, well, what does digital in an ICS setting look like? You know, each department, each organisation has its own digital programs to lesser or greater extent. You know, how does this all fit in? So I'm not going to go through all of these, but as you can see very much what we're trying to do is it's around collaboration, integration, aligning people's plans, get a clear governance structure, sort of program management, improving capabilities and skills, which is very much what this is about, and aligning what we're doing with system priorities as a whole, and also undergoing digital research. So the next slide is, Athena, can you move on? Yeah, so very specifically, why did we do this program? I think the first thing is to improve digital health and care leadership skills. It's been recognized for a long period of time that there is a dearth of digital health leadership skills, though while that has improved over the years since the production of the Wachter report, things have improved, but still we've got a long way to go. I think it's also very important to create a community of good practice within South West London. Now, and this program is very much about bringing people together, and it's not just about while you're on this course. It's also about afterwards, the legacy of this, whether it's through an alumni setup or just creating links with other people doing similar things. You know, the old hackney saying of siloed working is is very true, despite it being repeated over and over again. And actually, if your friend or your colleague who you work with on this program is doing something else similar, you know now where to go. So on a similar sort of theme is around collaborative working. So actually working together to deliver something together at a network level. We are still very much doing things at an organizational level, which, it's going to take a long time. As you know, the ICS is only about 8 months old. So moving from essentially a provider and commissioner approach to actually working together as a network is going to take time. And I think this would hopefully break down some of those barriers and allow that collaborative working. I think also to help create common approaches to challenges in the ICS. Everybody has problems, and often the problems are very similar, and we end up doing 8 different ways to do the same thing. It would make sense to work together, either purely at a procurement level, which is one way, also actually having a similar solution or similar approaches to the different problems. And I think finally, it's about early digital input and transformation projects. I'm sure a lot of you are aware that there's transformation projects popping up here, there, and everywhere. And there are two problems that we come across. One is that there's no digital input until right at the end. So they've done this transformation project, they suddenly think, oh, we need a digital solution to support this. They start to look outside and say, oh, actually, there's this vendor who will provide this software. And of course, like most vendors, they're going to promise the earth. And then on a 5:30 on a Friday afternoon, they come in and say, yes, please, will you sign off on this solution? We need it for this thing. It's too late. It's not, and it's a bad way to do things. What we want to be is that people like you are actually in there at the beginning to help steer the potential solutions to the transformation projects. Digital is not there to lead the clinical and social care projects. It is about guiding what needs to be done in terms of a digital solution. So, that people don't make assumptions about digital solutions, etc. So those are sort of the 5 reasons we did it. In a slightly flippant way, we're looking for sort of missionaries to go and spread the good word of digital throughout health and social care within South West London. And I'll hand back to you, Yasmin.
Fantastic, thanks, Matt. It's just as a brief kind of reminder, if anyone who's recently joined, if you could change the name of your profile just so you can see your full name and the organisation that you're currently working with. So just to emphasise that the fellowship is designed to really equip fellows with new skills and knowledge from building good business cases and using kind of agile projects to actually really deliver their projects, and kind of focusing on action learning tests to really bring like-minded people together. I'm now going to hand over to Samantha Mason to kind of give her overview of why she thinks that this particular programme is important to the local authorities. Samantha, over to you if you'd like to also introduce your title and your background.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Sam Mason. I'm the Health and Care Lead in the South London Partnership, and the South London Partnership works across the 6 local authorities in South West London to support them on all things health and care. So really just to say that, the local authorities in South West London very much welcome the opportunity to participate in this programme as key partners in the South West London ICS, and partners who are working closely with our health partners to deliver a whole range of digital innovations. Digital innovation offers a huge opportunity to improve the health and social care services that local authorities offer to residents, and to improve the health and well-being of those residents. There are lots of digital innovation programs being delivered in local authorities, lots more being planned, and lots more to come in the future in adults, children's social care, public health are the key areas, but other areas. And this programme offers a fantastic opportunity to local authority colleagues to develop their skills in delivering those innovations and working with wider partners in the ICS and sharing learning. So I'd very much encourage anybody working in a local authority on a health and social care digital transformation project to find out more about the programme and apply to be part of it. So that's it from me. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Thanks so much, Samantha. It's great to hear from you. I'm now going to hand over to Annie Murphy, who was actually a pioneer on our third London and southeast of England pioneer programme, to kind of talk about her experience of the programme and why she felt it was important. So Annie, I'm going to hand over to you, if that's okay.
Thank you, and hello everyone. For those who don't know me, I'm Annie Murphy. I'm a GP in Merton, and I'm also the Southwest London digital lead for primary care services. So that's really interesting. I just wanted to tell my story about my journey through digital health, because the Digital Pioneer Fellowship was actually the starting point of my digital career. And it's really sort of helped me develop as a transformation, clinical lead. And how I found about it was really funny, because I was just surfing Twitter and, looking at all the usual channels on social media, and I found this advert pop up, didn't know what it was, thought I'd just apply to it. And little did I know that actually it's a really wonderful program. And so I think, this webinar is really useful for people to actually know in advance what the experiences have been. I think, have I cut off? Am I still here?
Still hear you.
Okay, you can still hear me. Sorry, it must be my computer. Anyway, so the program itself, so I was on cohort 3 of the London program, and it was a series of 6 study days, which was broken down into a morning session of teaching and workshops, and the afternoon session of action learning sets. And there are lots of great learning from each aspect of it. So we learned how to do things like elevator pitches, work through a toxic problem, and using the agile method for a project to work through it iteratively and evolve a project. So a lot of it is very practical tips and guides on how to carry out a project and deliver it, and also developing yourself as a person to be able to talk and summarize your project into 2 minutes, which is really great. The other thing that I found was really useful was that we were grouped into action learning sets with people in our sort of local areas, and we were given almost free rein really to use the time to help each other work through our problems and facilitate each other to come up with solutions. And that has been a really great experience, because I've then since brought that into my own organisation to be able to develop my trainees and my staff to work through their toxic problems in that way as well. So those are the sort of the main things that I've learned from the programme. Yeah, if you have any questions, please do ask.
I was going to say, if anyone has any questions now for Annie based on her experience, please feel free to put your hand up or put them in the chat. We will also be opening up the chat in 2 minutes, so if anyone else wants to kind of think about some key burning questions, we've got a couple of minutes.
I think there was another thing was within the programme we were offered sessions with a mentor, and that was really helpful, especially if you chose a mentor that was from a different background to yourself. That really helped give a different perspective, because sometimes when we're working in our own organisation we can be a little bit siloed and we don't really take a step back to look at the bigger picture as to why we're doing what we're doing. And I think the why question is really important. So when I had a mentor who worked in Med City, one of the corporates. And I was talking to him from a clinical standpoint, because my background is clinical, so I didn't really know much about project management. So I was talking to him about my project, and he just took a step back and he asked me the why question, and that sort of set me back a little bit. And so yeah, since then it's been sort of, it's really helped having a different viewpoint from lots of different people to input into your work and your project, and that's given you a much more well-rounded overview of how we can deliver transformation better.
Great, thanks, Jenny. I don't think I see any hands up, but if anyone has any particular questions for Annie at this moment in time, feel free to take off your mic and bring up. Come on. No, I think, brilliant. Okay. Jenny, are you on the line? Would you like to also come on and give your experience from your being on the cohort? Ah, perfect.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry about the background, babies. Hi, Chair. I'm Jenny Muir, I'm the Chief Nursing Informatics Officer at St George's Hospital. And I think coming on to the Digital Pioneer Fellowship really helped me focus actually at quite a difficult time, because we actually participated during COVID. So actually participating in a course over a year for during a time when we actually couldn't physically be together. I did wonder sort of how that would pan out, but I think the coordination and facilitation by the central team was absolutely amazing, and it actually really helped me personally focus on a specific project within my service at a time that was really difficult because of all the stop-start being caused through the pandemic. I think, like Annie's already said, things like the pitch were brilliant. Being able to spend just 2 minutes putting your case, we had to really refine that because I do like to talk, so I had to really think and focus on the key messages that I wanted to get across. The action learning sets and the mentoring were great because it actually made you think differently and I think more strategically within the role. I had been working in IT for quite some time and actually during the course came to sort of an impasse where I wasn't sure whether I'd carry on with the role that I was doing or actually move and look for something different, but it sort of re-energized me and sort of helped me refocus on what I wanted to achieve. So I would really recommend the course actually to anybody that's thinking about it. Give it a go. People come from all sorts of different backgrounds and you really learn from each other. And the support group that we had was brilliant. Everybody, we still keep in touch with some of those people in the group now. And what I found really interesting was that 2 people from my own organisation were also on the Digital Pioneer programme at the same time as me. And one of them I did know, but the other person I didn't. And actually then internally within the organisation, we were able to support one another and focus on sort of some key projects that would really help deliver patient care. So it was excellent. You know, happy to take any questions from a nursing perspective, in particular about you know, how it helps support and actually also link you with key people within the organisation that could become enablers to help you with the piece of work that you were doing or the project that you might be focusing on during that time.
Now, Yasmin, you're on mute.
I'm on mute. Cool. I mean, you know, you would have thought after so many years we've stopped doing that, but I've noticed there is a question in the chat. So were the sessions remote or face-to-face? So
interesting.
Yeah,
yeah, remote for so long, and I think I'm very much I like to be with people. I really learn much better when I'm face to face with people, but actually within the calls that we did, at the Zoom calls and the meetings that we had, it actually did work really well, and people had an opportunity to get together in smaller groups during the course of the day and have discussions. However, we were all sort of really keen towards the end of the programme to have some face-to-face contact, and I think it was quite a celebration when we eventually all were released and we were all able to meet up face-to-face.
Yeah. So just to emphasize that the cohort that Jenny and Annie were both on was in the heights of COVID. So for the first, I think 5 learning days, we were remote. So we do have experience of putting these days on remotely. And we were lucky enough that our final learning day and also our showcase were face-to-face. And as Jenny said, and I could see Annie nodding along there, it was a real celebration of getting everyone together face-to-face. For this particular course, the expectation is that all 6 learning days and the kind of final showcase will be face-to-face. They'll be based in the Southwest London ICS offices. All 6 days, learning days are currently confirmed, and they are on the application form, and we can circulate some more information and who can ask questions around that. So just to emphasise that all learning days will be face-to-face. If, however, I'm going to caveat this, that there is something like a national train strike and we really can't get into London, as we know we've experienced kind of more recently, then we do have the experience to convert to face. We do have the experience to kind of convert those sessions to virtual, but yeah, they will be face-to-face. I don't know if kind of either Jenny or Annie wants to add anything to that, or if Matt wants to kind of make a brief comment. But yeah, we're really looking forward to getting some really like-minded people together to have some fantastic conversations and to really share their experience. Matt, over to you.
Yeah, I'm a fan of virtual meetings. I think they've made a huge difference in the way we work. However, we do know that they suffer from that sort of remoteness, especially with people you've never met before. It's one thing when you meet up with somebody you know well. So that's why we've been really pushing for this to be face-to-face, because it is about creating a community. And I think communities, need to at least meet each other as a start. So that's why we've been sort of reasonably, firm in that these are face-to-face sessions and not virtual. And as you know, probably the worst combination of the lot is a hybrid. So we're definitely trying not to do that. Because the people on the hybrid team often get excluded online, often get excluded in that. So so that's why we want to go down this route.
There are also a couple of questions appearing in the chat. So things like, what happens if I can't make a session? So I think that it does slightly depend. There is an expectation that you, as you apply an agreement from your line manager, that you release for those six learning days. If depending on if there is a very small part of the day that you can't attend, then we can work with you to make sure that you get all that information, and we can work with people in advance of that. But the preference is that you would attend all 6 learning days. I think there's a couple of others around, if you can't attend one particular learning day in advance and whether or not you should apply, I would definitely recommend applying. And again, we can work with you to make sure you catch up on that content, but that would probably be only focusing on if you can't attend one day. It really is important that everyone attends all six learning days, and kind of really to get the kind of the benefit of the educational components, the action learning sets, and kind of really sharing in that. Patrick, I see you've got a hand up.
Yeah, hi Yasmin. Thanks everyone for their presentation. I just wanted to ask perhaps Jenny or the other participant a little bit more about the mentorship capabilities within the program. Actually, how did you get partnered with someone? What were the contacts? How frequent was the contact, and was it up to you to develop that relationship, or is it a structured mentorship program?
Yeah, so I quickly start there. So through the Southwest London ICS and through DigitalHealth.London, we have a range of mentors that we can kind of, advertise to some point. But we got a range of advertisers that we would expect the fellows to kind of help choose from, and they come from a range of backgrounds, clinical management and from different organisations. So we will help partner you with a mentor based on kind of the skill set and what you might need. And then with the expectation is that the mentor will meet with each of the fellows kind of at least 4 times a year, if not more often. And so there is a bit of that emphasis around kind of the fellow helping to co-create that relationship with the mentor. So we help support that. But if I hand it back over to Jenny and then probably Annie to get their kind of more detailed experience of working with the mentor. So if I hand over to Jenny first.
Yeah, I think it was really helpful because we were provided with a list of people that could potentially be mentors for us. So we were able to look through their biographies, etc., and actually identify people that would be probably a good fit for us. And my personal mentor was somebody from Oxford. and we arranged our own dates and times to meet, and you know, understood exactly what was required of the mentoring process. Over time, we didn't need to meet quite so frequently as we went through the program, and I think that was just because I probably was drawing from other experiences as well as I went through, and would become more confident. But I mean, I think the mentoring process is absolutely essential, especially if you haven't previously perhaps worked within an IT environment before. So this might be new, completely new to you. So to have somebody that was already had experience of trying to navigate through the differences between, you know, being a nurse on the ward and then working in a technical environment with people from IT. It's a whole new world. But I've been working in that space for quite some time, so it was helpful, as I say, for probably the first 6 months of the program, and then over time we just met less frequently.
Thanks.
Kate, is there anything you want to add to that? I know you've already mentioned your mentor.
Well, I had a slightly different experience to Jenny, actually, because I ended up having 2 mentors. It was my first mentor, then after having 2 sessions with him, he left. So then I was matched up with another mentor. So actually, the thing that I found quite useful was the first mentor I had came from a corporate background. And so we had a great mentoring sort of relationship. My second mentor actually came from an academic background, and we then had a sort of coaching relationship. So I did have the best of both worlds, I suppose, although a more abbreviated version of each. And it was really useful to understand the difference between mentorship and coaching, and how one can develop. I think you kind of need both, actually, now that I've experienced both.
Fantastic.
Thanks, Annie.
Does that answer your question, Patrick? Is there anything else you'd like to follow up?
No, it's interesting to hear Annie just say just now that she wasn't limited to one mentor, although I realised that was a particular circumstance that led to that with one of the your mentor leaving. But I guess, Yasmin, it's back to you. If you've got coaches with different backgrounds and different capabilities that you want to exploit, is that a possibility as well?
Yeah, that's certainly a possibility. You know, we're very happy to support, you know, that this is not only is this a program to support the, you know, the development of digital projects within an organization, it's also really there to help develop the individual fellow as well, and to kind of give them that skill set. So we're very happy to kind of work and kind of really try and match the best mentor coach, depending on what you need, with the right fellow. And if there is kind of some gaps there, then we'll also work with you to help fill those gaps as well.
Lovely, thank you.
I saw another question in the chat. Do you get a certificate at the end? Yes, we do get a certificate at the end. We have a lovely showcase event where we get to really celebrate the different projects and the experiences for all the fellows, and as part of that, everyone does get a certificate. So yes, you do. Just scrolling down to see if there's any more questions. Are all applicants accepted? Tanya, I don't know if you want to come on and ask that question in a bit more detail. The answer is, in terms of staffing, so it doesn't matter your grade, your background, or where you come from, that doesn't matter, or your occupation, as long as you come from an NHS organisation within South West London, or a local authority organisation, or working with a local authority organisation that is kind of working on a health related project. I don't know if that answers your question, or if
It does, thank you. Sorry, some noise in the background here. It was just really to see whether there was a way of you triaging applicants, depending on whether they had the relevant experience and they worked in the right environment within the local authority. I'm from the local authority, and I have a number of colleagues that I'd like to put forward for this programme, and I didn't know whether you had a way to sort of streamline your cohort, so who attended and who shouldn't.
Can I answer that one?
yes, go for it, Matt.
Yeah, yes, we do. So I think everything's in the application. You know, how do you sell yourself in that application? I think it's really important. It's not about the person as in, you know, what band you are, but what it should do is it should relate to a project that sits within the South West London ICS. So and apart from that, there aren't too many restrictions, but it's how you sell yourself. Once we will then shortlist those based on the application form, and then there will be an interview where we'll go through and make the final cut. So not everybody who applies will be accepted, but it's in their hands. And as long as they fit within the parameters we've said, which is basically South West London Health and Care, including local authorities, and it's related to a project in South West London. There are a few organisations that deliver care in South West London, which are not necessarily South West London organisations. So I'll give an example, CLCH, which provides community healthcare. If the project is related to delivery of health or care within South West London, then they would be then it would be appropriate. But if it's about somebody from CLCH, for example, doing a project in North East London, then no.
More information as well can actually be found on the FAQs part of the DigitalHealth.London website, which I'm just going to pop into the chat now. So if anyone wants to follow up there, so you can kind of go through and look through all those questions. And then as you go through the application form, it does actually allow you to select which kind of general organisation that you are from as part of that. So that helps us streamline as well. But yeah, we're very open and encouraging for anybody else who would like to apply within those remits. Samantha, I don't know if there's anything else you'd like to add to that, particularly coming from the local authority background.
No, I think just that we, you know, as we've said, we're very keen to get a good number of applicants from local authorities. And yeah, I think that's it really.
And I think this is one of the reasons why this particular programme is so exciting, is that we are looking at really bringing together all aspects of health and social care and kind of working across the full kind of integrated care system, and bringing lots of different people together and really sharing those kind of experiences. So I think that's really exciting.
I think it's also very useful for the actual ICS themselves. You know, I'm having to use the word "and social care" in a lot of statements I make now, which is something new for me, but I think it's absolutely essential to where the ICS is going to work.
It's really about bringing the community together. Just scrolling down, I don't think I've seen any other questions appearing in the chat, but I did.
Patrick's got his hand up again.
Oh, yeah, Patrick, over to you.
Thank you, Yasmin. It's probably a question for either yourself or Matt. And it's alluding to what you were just saying there, Yasmin, about bringing a community of across the ICS together of interested digital sort of leaders, I guess. In the application, you're sort of saying that it's provided you're delivering a project within South West London, you know, you're considered. I guess it's going back to the previous cohorts. At some point, we're all very similar organisations. We probably have our same similar challenges. Matt, Yasmin, do you hold centrally a list of those digital projects which perhaps might resonate with other organisations, such that we don't have to start from scratch? For example, that community is what I'm interested in.
Yes, we do. So as mentioned before, DigitalHealth.London is the delivery partner for this programme. So we kind of bring content and the mentors and kind of the days together. If you go onto our website, and we've actually got what's called the Innovation Directory, and that has a list of all of the different cohorts that we've worked with over the last couple of years. So that includes cohorts 1, 2 and 3 of the Pan London and South East London Digital Pioneer Fellowship that both Annie and Jenny were on. They were on cohort 3. We've also got a specific one which Matt mentioned before, which was for Chelsea and Westminster, which was delivered in partnership with the CW Plus charity. So that was an organisation specific one, really focusing on their staff. And we're also opening up applications for cohort 2 there. So we've got a lot of experience. So what I'll do is I'll also put a link in the chat of all the different fellows that we've supported over the years, and they're different, kind of giving you an explanation of their projects, their backgrounds. And there's also quite a few different blogs and things like that that kind of showing different stories from the fellows, of which I think both Jenny and Annie actually have blogs on there. So if you want to hear about their project in more detail, I will advertise them there. But Jenny, I see you, Annie, I see you put your hand up, so I'll put your hand over.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that actually, because yeah, part of the program we were made to either write a blog or record a vlog. So that's quite interesting, and it's quite good to then summarize what we've done, our journey and our learning, but it also gives people a good overview of all the different types of projects that people have come in with. I think it's also about developing the person rather than just the project, isn't it? Because the project is useful to hook onto, but the key point is to try and develop a person who may be working on the coalface, doesn't have much transformation experience, into a transformation lead.
I think that's very important, is that this isn't necessarily just about the project, because it's to do this fellowship without a project is very difficult. You've got nothing to hang it on. But that said, you know, the project fails, but you've learned a lot, then it's a success. So I'm not trying to sort of say, don't worry, the project fails, but I am saying that that's not the primary aim, is to deliver the projects. And going back to your question about a central repository, now, I mean, that's one of the things going forward as we start to collect this. We do have in Southwest London what was originally called the Digital Transformation and Investment Plan, which is a list of all the projects, and you would be amazed how difficult that has been to put together, because trying to find out what people are up to. So, you know, we've tried to, and it's taken a long time to get that list together, exactly what's going on out there at the moment. Doesn't say anything about, you know, our projects which are in people's minds as well, and also a lot of projects which are not seen as digital projects. And I think that's also important. You know, digital is an enabler. It's often, this isn't specifically about digital projects per se, but about digital enablement of other projects. So there's a lot of transformation projects out there, which I say may have not even thought about digital at the moment until the very end. So creating a list like that is going to be very important, and we want to maintain it going forward.
Thank you.
That's it. Does anyone else have any other questions, particularly if it relates to that? I have put the directory of the fellows that we've worked with in the chat, and also the link to the FAQs, which is on our website. Yeah, just to again emphasize in terms of what the fellows get out of it. So the expectation is to attend 6 learning days, which as both Jenny and Annie have mentioned, which has a learning component. So there's various points throughout the year, so kind of looking at really kind of defining what the problem that you're trying to solve is, looking at the project plan and how you're going forward, really emphasizing on how you can sustain the impact and kind of measure and make sure that the change that you're putting into place is sustained and kind of actually measured in that way. So we give a lot of education around that. We would also love it if every single fellow that comes onto the programme, I think I saw a question in the chat, is it capped? So at the minute we're looking at having 40 fellows for this particular cohort, but we'd love it if every single one did some kind of written blog or vlog, and we've got a fantastic comms team that will help support and kind of draft that with you towards the end. There'll also be a showcase event to really kind of share the different ideas. And a large part of the learning days that we go through is kind of emphasised on the pitching and the action learning set, so that there's a real opportunity for all fellows to really share the projects and the kind of the ideas that they've got going on with their own organisations, and to really support and problem solve that, which again will support the repository of kind of all the amazing different works projects that are going on within the different organisations within the South West London ICB. I see Martin Ellis has just popped onto the chat. I don't know if Martin, you want to quickly pop on. We've had some really interesting conversations so far. If you want to pop on and say hello, and if there's anything else you might want to add around why the South West London ICB want to kind of continue this programme, or start this programme actually.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Yasmin. Apologies for being late. Great to see lots of people on call, and we're really excited to be offering this opportunity to people across South West London ICS. It's a way of people learning, gaining new skills around how to do technical digital implementation, but also how to create a network of people across the ICS. So, you know, really pleased to be able to offer this. We want to offer this on an ongoing basis as well, but we're starting off. This is the first event we've run. So, great. If you've got any further questions, don't hesitate to reach out by email. And I should have introduced myself really. So I'm Martin Ellis, I'm the Chief Digital Information Officer for the ICS. So thanks again, and hopefully we'll see some of you on the course, or all of you on the course.
Thanks, Martin. Yeah, so conscious of time, just wanted to check, does anybody have any other questions? I saw one pop in the chat around, is this session being recorded? Yes, the answer is yes, and we will get a link sent out to everybody, and it will also be saved on the DigitalHealth.London website, and we'll also be sharing it with our colleagues across the South West London ICB, so there'll be lots of places that you can kind of go back and check any of the answers. Again, we've got some, the link to the FAQs is on the website, and there's also a link actually in the application form. So if you've got any questions as you're going through the application, you'll be able to go back. Please also feel free to email. We can put the email to ask any questions is also on the application form. And so that if you do have any kind of burning questions, we can kind of answer those straight away. And we're also happy to jump on a call to answer any of those if necessary. But just wanted to kind of double check to see if there's any other questions coming through. Please feel free to put your hand up or put it in the chat. I don't see any. Okay. I just wanted to double check to see if Annie, Matt, or Sam potentially has any other final comments before we finish today.
Yeah, sorry, you, Annie.
No, it wasn't me. It was somebody else. So you go.
Oh, I just wanted to say that, you know, please apply. You know, you may feel that your project isn't what you think it should be. We'll decide that in the end if you're unsure. But you know, as I said before, this is about developing people, and the project is secondary, but not unimportant. So
I just wanted to make one comment, because I think this program has actually brought me from being just a GP, you know, on the coalface doing a salaried role, to developing further. And then I went on to do the NHS Digital Academy, and then the Global Health Leadership Program. And there's so many other things that you can do, but this program was the launch pad for me to go onwards. And the learning you get from this course has then helped make the connections and the important sort of basic concepts to be able to move forward if you wish to into the digital career.
Fantastic, Annie. It's always great to hear kind of how far people have come and been on the programme as well, and kind of to see the development of different members of staff. Patrick, I see your hand up.
It's just a very practical one, Yasmin. If this initial application isn't successful, you have an upper cap. Are you able to go through to the next cohort? And if so, how frequently are you running this course?
So great question. So we're currently just planning this first cohort. So I would say if you don't get through the if you get through the application round to interview, you'll certainly get feedback based on the interview and the application. Possibly not at the application stage, depending on how many we go through. Matt, I don't know if you want to kind of follow up on that.
Well, all I can say is we have every intention of going forward with this project, but as most things within government and public health and public service, is that, you know, it does depend on the money, but it is very much our intention to carry on with this. Exactly which format, how many people, that still needs to be decided. But yes, there's, you know, there's no reason why you can't reapply when, or if, hopefully more likely when we run this again.
Thank you.
And just to emphasize, this is the first time we've done like this kind of cohort, as Matt said, kind of in this particular geographical area. And I think it's really exciting to see how everyone pulls together. So yeah. Fantastic. I'm just going to double check, does anyone else have any follow-up questions? So just to emphasize, please go through our website. The application form is there along with the FAQs. Applications are open and will close on the 11:59 on the 4th of June, which is a Sunday. We are quite strict about that. But yeah, the other part of the application form is just to emphasize is that there is an expectation that your line manager will also give a recommendation for you. So just a couple of lines to say why that, to make sure that they are happy for you to be released for those 6 learning days. If anyone else has any questions following this webinar, then please do reach out. We are more than happy to kind of, like I say, answer either via email or hop on a call to kind of solve those problems. But
Yasmin.
Yep, go on, Martin.
I've had someone email me, Pavel Weiss, who's unable to join the call and is asking if we can share the recording.
Certainly.
So I wonder if we can email it around. Is that possible?
Yeah, we can certainly do that. That's no problem at all.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Perfect. But yeah, like I say, thank you so much for joining us and thanks for all your questions. Hopefully you found this session helpful, and we're really looking forward to seeing as many applications coming through as possible. And thanks Athena for just popping on there to some final notes. As I said, applications close on the 4th of June. Interviews will be, for those that are selected, are from the week commencing the 19th of June. There is an opportunity in the application form to kind of highlight when you might be available for that week. So that's also helpful just so you know. We will also post a couple more links, but yeah, again, follow us at DigitalHealth.London and also the South West London ICB, and we're really looking forward to seeing your applications. So thank you very much, everyone. I hope you all have a lovely day, and thanks again for joining.